Oh, man. It's going to be a hard stream. On September 2nd, I woke up with a fever, and for those who don't know, I have asthma. I've had asthma my entire life, since I was a kid, my whole life. I woke up with a fever, and I was having a lot of trouble breathing. Um, like I tried to walk to the bathroom, and I could not even do it. I was about to fall over. My older brother came over to check on me. Luckily, because I, being my stubborn self, I was just gonna fucking deal with it and just, you know, try to fucking stick it out. My brother's a nurse, so immediately he was like, "I'm calling 911." And I was scared, but he didn't even wait for me to say yes or no. He just did it. I don't remember much after this. The ambulance took me to the hospital, to the emergency room. They took an X-ray of my lungs and my chest, and immediately told me that they're transferring me to a different hospital. That's the last thing I remember for a week. Um, my brother told me I was still at the same hospital until about midnight, until they transferred me to the other hospital. But I don't remember any of that. The next 8 hours, I don't remember a second of it. Um, Apparently, during transport to the other hospital, I stopped breathing and was unresponsive. So they had to intubate me. If you don't know what that means, that's when they put a breathing tube all the way down your throat and connect it to a ventilator. And yeah, that was the next week of my life. I was on a ventilator because my lungs were too weak to breathe for myself. Um, and so I was when they put you on a ventilator and a breathing tube, they give you a paralytic that paralyzes you. So you're basically in a coma. So I was out of it for 7 days. And even the day after I woke up, I don't really remember it that well. It's still kind of blurry. So I showed up on the ventilator. I had respiratory failure with I think they said it was hypoxia and hypercapnia, something like that, which means I was breathing so badly that there wasn't enough oxygen in my blood, and there was too much CO2 in my blood. Because I guess when I was breathing, I was just hyperventilating, trying to breathe really hard. So, yeah, I was dying. And they put me on the ventilator for a whole fucking week. But luckily they transferred me to the hospital where my brother is actually a nurse and works at the hospital. So they were gonna keep me on the ventilator for another couple days probably, but he works there and he's like, so to get you off a ventilator, they have to see if your lungs can handle breathing on your own. So after a week, he's like, let's get him off this to see if he can breathe. And they took it out. I don't remember any of this. I don't remember any of this. They took the breathing tube out of my throat. And they put like a different breathing machine on me. Like it's called a BiPAP. You guys may have heard like a CPAP machine that people with sleep apnea sleep with, right? About a day later, I started remembering stuff from then. So we're like 8 days in at this point. All actually, before I even tell like more details on the story about like being intubated and what that was like and like what I was thinking and dreaming, I really just have to think. I gotta get the bad news out of the way first. So they put me on medicine for pneumonia and rhinovirus, which is like a fancy medical term for just a common cold. That's why I had a fever when I woke up that day. But my body was shutting down, my lungs were shutting down, I was dying, and my my heart started to fail. And they I was diagnosed with congestive heart failure, which, I mean, some of you guys might remember that's what my mom died of. So yeah, that's the bad news. I have heart failure. Man, so they measure heart failure with this thing called ejection fraction, which is like how much blood your heart pumps in and out. And so like a normal percentage is like nobody's 100%. Like if you're healthy, like you guys probably have like a 50. Your EF is probably like 50%, 55%. Mine was 20 to 25, so my heart was pumping like half as efficient as a normal person. Um, um, so that was on September, the morning of September 3rd when they measured that. My when they diagnosed me with heart failure. Um, I'm going to my cardiologist on Tuesday, this Tuesday in like 2 days, to see if it's gone up in the last 2 months. And I really hope it has. I mean, there might be some good news in the fact that these symptoms only showed up when I got really sick, and I had respiratory failure, and I had pneumonia, and a fever at the same time. This is what my cardiologist said. So, like, I had never seen these symptoms before. I saw these symptoms in my mom before she died. Obviously, if I ever saw something like that in myself, I would have went to the doctor immediately because I would know. But so I'm really hoping that since these symptoms didn't show up until all this happened, I'm trying to remain optimistic that on Tuesday we'll see that my EF is like way higher. So I mean, I have a lot of stuff to talk about, but that's the main things right there, guys. I um I went to the ICU with respiratory failure. I was literally about to die, and I have heart failure, and that's what it is. I Why did I have to relearn how to walk? Okay, so I was intubated in the ICU for a week. And so why I had to relearn how to walk is this: when you're on a ventilator in the ICU, you're not moving at all. You're not using a single muscle. The ventilator is breathing for you. Your lungs aren't. You're not even using muscles to breathe. So I think it's like every day you're intubated on a ventilator, you can lose like up to 2% of your muscle mass every single day. So my doctor told me while I was intubated, I lost anywhere between 10 and 20% of my entire body's muscle mass, and told me I was gonna have to relearn how to walk and stand up and even move around in bed. And I didn't understand what they were talking about, because I was like, what do you mean? I've been walking for over 30 years. I know how to walk. But then about 4 or 5 days after that, I got the breathing tube taken out. They were like, okay, you want to try to stand up today? And I was like, of course, I want to get out of this damn bed, you know. And they helped me scoot my butt to the end of the hospital bed. I put both my feet on the ground, and it felt amazing just to fucking move my body a little bit. And like, okay, let's do this. They had like physical therapy people stand with me and in front of me so I didn't fall over. And I couldn't do it. I couldn't fucking stand up. Man, I'm telling you, when that moment happened and I couldn't stand up, before I tried, I was so excited. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm getting better. I want to get out of here and go home. When I couldn't stand up, I just felt like my soul leave my body. It was just like trapped in a fucking bed for a month. I've been home for a month now, and I'm telling you guys, like, every day it's just constant fucking pain, and I really don't I try not to complain. I try to just deal with it. It's a lot better now, but it's just constant muscle aches every fucking day. Standing up, walking around, doing anything, it's just fucking constant aches and pains right now. I'm trying so hard to like rehab and get stronger and go for walks and do this stuff. I've been rehabbing for a little over a month now. It could take it could take months until I feel normal again. I don't know. It could take even longer. I just don't know. So I'm dealing. So at this point, I'm dealing with the muscle atrophy from the ICU. I think about day 16, I stood up off the bed at like a 90-degree angle for like 5 seconds, and it was the hardest thing. Man, I could lift my ass off the bed for 5 seconds, but only bent fully over while holding onto a walker. It was so painful, and I was so demoralized. They were saying they had to send me to a rehab facility to relearn how to walk, relearn how to stand, go to the bathroom, do all this stuff. I know this is kind of gross to talk about, but obviously for the first week that I was awake, they took the tube out of my throat, but I still had a tube up my ass, up my wiener, and I wasn't going to the bathroom. It was just doing it for me. So, I think it was day 8. The nurse comes in and is like, "You ready to get these tubes out?" And at that point, I couldn't walk yet. I couldn't even get the fuck out of bed yet. So, I was like, "Well, how am I can't go to the bathroom yet. I don't understand." And they're like, "We'll do that for you. We'll help you with that." It's just, it's really hard to try to maintain your dignity and shit, when you're in the hospital and you can't move and you can't walk and you can't stand up. But luckily, I had such amazing nurses. I was completely on the ventilator and paralyzed when they put those in me, so I didn't feel it. Thank goodness. So I'll tell you, there's no reason to be ashamed or fucking embarrassed about it. It was I think the day after I stood up for 5 seconds, the nurse comes in. She's like, "You ready to get those tubes out?" And I was so afraid of getting the tubes out. She said, "Okay, I'm going to count down." She grabbed the tube that was in my butt and said, "You ready? I'm going to count down." I said, "Don't count down. Don't give me a warning. Just just do it. I don't want to be warned." Because I didn't want to brace for it. I just wanted it to happen. She was like, "Okay, whoop." She fucking made that noise and just yoinked the tube out of my butt. And I'm going to be honest, I didn't even feel it. It was fine. I didn't feel it at all. Was she hot though? Jesus. She was cute. That's our boy. I didn't feel that one. Just let me say that. I didn't feel the butt one. Yes, she made that noise. Yeah. And then she's like, "Okay, you ready for the next one?" Let me tell you. I said it again because the first one didn't hurt. So I was like, "Okay, don't give me a warning on the second one either. Just fucking do it." So she went, "Okay." And then she paused for a few seconds, trying to, so I would brace for it. Whoop! And I could barely speak at this point because my throat was still sore and I was still coughing a lot. I was coughing so much because of the breathing tube. She goes, "Whoop!" And all I remember doing is going "Woo, woo," I couldn't control myself making that noise. That one, it didn't hurt. It was just really weird feeling. I definitely hit a falsetto somehow with my sore throat and barely be able to talk normal. So I had the tubes out. And that's when things really started to suck because I couldn't even walk yet. I couldn't get out of bed yet. It must have been September 17th or something. Maybe 10 days after I woke up. That day I stood up for a whole minute straight. And they let me take 3 side steps each way to the left and right. And it was so hard. It was hard. It was so hard that they didn't let me try to do anything else, and I don't think I could have done anything else anyway because it was just fucking. Taking 3 little side steps was every ounce of energy I had in my entire body. I'm telling you guys, every day I just kept getting more and more demoralized because they kept telling me, "Okay, we're trying to find you a rehab facility so we can get you out of here," because they were like, "Okay, you're stable now. We're trying to get you out of here." And the thought of being transported to a different place was just killing me inside because I was at a hospital that my brother works at, and I felt comfortable there because I knew he was going to be there. Even like he even on his days off, he was there to see me, you know. So, but on his days that he was working, he would always pop in when he was on a break or didn't have anything to do for a couple minutes. It was like the perfect setup because the hospital room that I was in, where he works in the hospital was literally like 20 feet behind my room. Yeah, I just felt so much more comfortable knowing he was there, you know. Um, man, I just the whole time I was in the hospital, I just kept having these. It's not just like the physical pain and trauma I was going through. There was a lot of mental shit, you know. Like we went through all this a few years ago with our mom. You know, we've lost our parents. We lost our grandma recently. We've been through we just keep losing people, and all I kept thinking this entire fucking time was. All I kept thinking the entire time was, am I really putting him through this again? It fucking sucked. That's why they were like telling me I have to go to rehab. I'm telling you guys, when I was stuck in that fucking bed, I was just I was moving my legs and trying to fucking like regain my movement, mobility, and muscles as fast as I could because I was just like, I gotta get out of here. I gotta get better. You know, my brothers, my sister-in-law, I got my little nephew. They've all been taking care of me, you know. And I don't want to put them through that kind of fucking stress again that we've just fucking already gone through so many times. I was completely ignoring what the physical therapy people were telling me to do every day to regain my muscles. I was doing way too much, and that probably would have made them mad. But it ended up making me get strong enough that I didn't have to go to a rehab place. By the time they were ready to send me to one, I was able to start walking. I think it was like literally 2 days before I got discharged. They're like, you want to go for a walk? I was like, yep, let's fucking do it. And I walked from my room to like the nurse's desk, like station. That's like, it was probably like 100 steps. For me, for like a normal person that was walking who wasn't injured or weak, is probably like 40 steps. But I was taking like small ass steps, right? They're like, well, we still can't send you home because you can't walk up steps yet. You can't go to the bathroom by yourself yet. So for the next 2 days, I just kept walking around my room, even though I don't even think I had permission. I had a fall risk band on me. I wasn't even I didn't even have permission. I had to get out of the hospital. I was starting to go crazy. It was like week 3 at this point. I forgot to tell you guys even about, so like a week before all this, sorry, I forgot about this. I don't know if you can see it. It's almost gone at this point, but I have all these marks right here. I had to go get this thing called a cardiac catheter, which is it's a surgery where it's like a very small surgery where they check your blood vessels and your blood flow, and they check your heart, right? You're like still half awake during this one. So I told the lady, because I was so scared of being put under, because I had just been on the breathing tube for like over a week, right? And it was terrifying for me the idea of being under again. So I regret it now, but I told the lady, please, as little, I don't know if it's called anesthesia. I don't know what I said, as little as possible, please. Because I didn't want to go under. And she said, okay, if you need more, just let me know. So they put this fucking thick-ass needle, like in artery or vein. I don't even remember. I don't know which one it is. And then through the needle, they take this fucking tube, and they put it throughout your whole fucking vein, all the way up your arm, through your shoulder, down into your heart. I have never felt my heart race so fucking fast in my life. So my arm is numb, but I feel the doctor just going like this, jamming that thing in there. It's got to go all the way, you know. He's got to guide it all the way in. I don't feel it in my arm, but I feel like the pressure. So when it reaches my heart just starts going like super fucking fast. Like there's a tube in my heart now, you know? And then they like inject this like dye into your blood so like they can take a like special pictures of how your blood is pumping. And so here's the good news. They do this to check if you have any blockages in your heart or your veins or any of your bloodways, right? And if you do, they put like stents in it to like open it back up. Okay, so this is the good news. There was no blockages anywhere. 0 in my whole body. That's the good news. Also, the other part of the good news is none of these symptoms showed up until all these events happened. So that's why I'm trying to be really optimistic about when I go see my cardiologist on Tuesday, that he'll tell me my like heart EF, like the heart pump percentage is up. It was 25% when I got intubated and they checked me when I was sleeping. I don't remember any of that. Like I said before, if anybody missed it earlier, like a healthy heart is like 50%, 55%. It's not 100%. Nobody's 100%. Like healthy people are 50, 55. So I was 25. Now my cardiologist told me that if I'm under 35% still, we'll wait 3 months and check again. If I'm under 35%, that's when they want to do a surgery and like put a defibrillator in or something like that. And I'm telling you guys, I am just terrified of the thought of that. I don't want to do that, you know? I really don't want to do that. So I'm doing everything I can to get as healthy as possible, as fast as possible. I mean, I'll just tell you guys now. I mean, you guys know I've gained a shit ton of weight in the past few years. You guys know that. And obviously that didn't help the situation. The sleep apnea, undiagnosed for fucking 10 years, didn't help it. Genetics, my mom had the same thing, didn't help it. And then, you know, all these, the pneumonia, the respiratory failure, didn't help it. So I'm telling you guys now, even though it's really, my muscles still hurt every day and I ache all day long still, I feel better right now than I felt all year. I'm breathing better now than I've breathed in years. I'm sleeping better now than I've slept in fucking over a decade. I've been home for 30 some days and I've lost 32 pounds in a month. I'm not kidding. And I lost even more weight while I was in the hospital because they were I didn't eat for like 2 whole weeks, but the last like few days I was there, they kept bringing me this nasty shit. And I was like, can I just have a turkey sandwich, please? So every meal that I ate in the hospital was a turkey sandwich. I lost a ton of weight in the hospital. I've already lost 30 pounds in a little over a month since I've been home. I mean, you guys know what happened. Some of you guys were here back in the day, and I was like really into like going to the gym and weightlifting and stuff. And you guys remember I got down to like my lowest weight ever, and I was like fucking working out all the time, and then a lot of bad shit happens. I mean, I don't want to go over everything. Most of you guys know what happened. I lost my mom, lost my dad, lost my dog, lost my grandma. Was struggling with mental shit, which was affecting every other aspect of my life. It was hard. It was hard to make money. It was hard to eat right. It was hard to sleep. It was hard to care about anything. So I gained. I mean, over the past 5 years, I've gained a lot of weight. I mean, it's there's no hiding that. I mean, you guys can look at a video of me from years ago, and then look at one from last year. It is what it is. It's just, yeah. I mean, so, since I've been home, my brother and my sister-in-law, they've been taking care of me so much. They've been helping me grocery shop, cooking for me. Just making sure I'm all right every day, and like, if I didn't have them around, I don't know what the fuck I'd be doing right now. I really don't. It's been probably the hardest 2 months of my entire life, and like I've been trying to work up the courage to like turn on the stream, and it's just like. I gotta be honest with you guys. After getting a diagnosis of heart failure and almost dying, and having respiratory failure, after all that shit happens, it's hard to get the thought out of your head of like, what's the point? It's like it takes a lot of effort to like not think that shit, and because, like, I mean, the world doesn't fucking pause when you need a break, I still gotta pay bills this month. I still gotta fucking do. I remember like waking up and just like stressing out because I'm like, I can't remember the password to my phone so I can fucking pay my bills while I'm in the hospital bed. Like that's the kind of shit I was like worrying about. Like, because I didn't have a choice. Nothing stops for you when you're going through this kind of shit. I couldn't even fucking, the first like couple of days, I couldn't even fucking hold my phone up in my hands. I'm hoping some of you guys in chat got messages from Miles or somebody at least. My memory was so bad when I woke up. I told Miles, please tell this person. I was trying to remember as many people as I could. Like, tell these people, thank you for like all these years of like fun and times and everything, But I couldn't remember everybody. I just been out of it for like a fucking like 8 or 9 days basically. I just couldn't remember everybody. So I'm hoping some of you guys got some messages just saying whatever I said. I have some more good news. I told you guys. So I was the first 2 weeks. Well, the whole time I was rehabbing in the hospital, I was using a walker to move around because I couldn't walk yet. The first like 2 weeks that I was home. I was still using the walker. I couldn't. I still needed it. But I'm happy to tell you guys that I have not touched that walker in probably 20 some days now. Maybe even longer. I have not touched the walker. I've been walking like, I know it's not a lot of steps, but the walks that I go on walks with my brother, my sister-in-law, and my nephew, and our dogs. And I know it's not a lot of steps, but the walks that we take, for me, are probably like 2,000 steps. For a person who's not like injured, I guess, and they walk with bigger strides, it's probably a lot less steps. But it's a lot more steps for me because I walk slower right now, and my strides are not as wide as they normally would be. When I first came home, I had to sit down on like a shower stool to take a shower. Now I can take like a 20-minute shower and stand up the entire time. Things are getting easier. But I still feel pain every day. I try to just move, like I try to just push forward and get through it. That's all for me today. I hope I answered anybody's questions. I hope I gave enough information Again, I know I probably skipped over a bunch of stuff and a bunch of things I wanted to talk about. I had like a bunch of stuff in my head that I wanted to talk about, and I know I forgot so much of it. But it was the talking about the main things. It was really fucking hard, and I'm just glad I got it out of the way now. And you guys know I try to not cry that many times. Okay, just in case any ladies are out there watching, I don't want to cry too much. Okay.